All right, let's take a look at multiplication of algebraic expressions. We'll talk about the commutative and the associative law of multiplication. The distributive law, we've actually already used that. And then the rules of exponents in order to multiply algebraic expressions. So here's our first one, commutative law. A times B equals B times A. So 2 times 3 we know is the same as 3 times 2. It doesn't matter which way you write that. It's still 6. The associative property holds. 2 times 3 times 4 is the same as 2 times 3 first times 4. For example, this is 2 times 12, which is 24. This is 6 times 4, which is still 24. And then finally, the distributive property says A times B plus, and then you go A times the C. Let's use the distributive property first here. 3 times x plus 3 times y. So we got 3x plus 3y. We have a binomial, 2 terms there. Let's go ahead and distribute this one. Negative 4 times x plus, and then we have negative 4 times negative 4. So we have negative 4x plus negative 4 times negative 4, 16. So negative 4x plus 16. Let's keep going with the distributive and combining of like terms. Let's distribute the 6 here. We get 6 times A. 6 times 2b is 12b. 6 times negative 7, so minus 42c. See if there's any like terms to combine. There is not, so we stop right there. Now let's distribute the 3ab. So 3 times 2 is 6. A times A is A squared B. And now let's do the next one. 3ab times negative 5. 3 times negative 5, negative 15. A, there's no other a's. B times B is B squared, and then there's a C. And those are not like terms, so we stop right there. Let's go to the next one. Let's distribute here, distribute here. So this becomes 3s. Distribute the 2. 2 times s is 2s. 2 times 2 times 2t is 4t. Now let's distribute the minus s. We got negative 7s. Negative s times a negative 2 is a positive 2st. And combine any like terms. 3s plus 2s is 5s, minus 7s is a negative 2s. And then 4t looks like that's all alone. And then plus a 2st is also all alone. All right, let's keep going here. The next one, we got x minus 2 times x plus 7. This is still a distributive property. We're going to distribute x through, and then we're going to distribute negative 2 through. Some of you may remember in high school, this is called foiling. First, outer, inner, last. Foil. First, outer, then you multiply the inner, then you multiply the last. Okay, so let's do first. So x times, so I got x times x is x squared. X times x, there's our first. Plus, now I'm going to go x times a positive 7. That's my outer. Now I'm going to do the inner. So that's my negative 2 times x. It's my inner. And finally, I'm going to do last, negative 2 times 7. Foil. Let's clean this up. X times x, x squared. X times 7, that's a 7x. Negative 2 times x minus 2x. Negative 2 times 7 minus 14. Combine like terms. So 7x minus 2x is a 5x. 7 minus 2. And then minus 14. So x squared plus 5x minus 14. Any questions so far? All right, now let's do this one right here. 2x plus 1 times 3x minus 2 again first. 2x times 3x, 6x squared. Outer, 2x times negative 2, negative 4x. Inner, 1 times 3x is a positive 3x. And last, 1 times negative 2 is a minus 2. Combine your like terms. Negative 4x plus 3x is a negative x. And now let's do this one right here. 2a plus 3 times 2a squared plus 3a minus b. So first I'm going to take the 2a through to all three of those. Then I'm going to take the 3 through to all three of those. So 2a times 2a squared. So this one times that one first would give us 4a times a squared, a cubed. Now I'm going to do 2a times 3a, 6a squared. Now I'm going to go 2a times negative 1b, negative 2ab. Now I'm taking the 3 times 2a squared is 6a squared. Now I'm going to take the 3 times 3a, which is 9a. Now I'm going to take 3 times negative b is negative 3b. And let's see if we have any like terms here. 4a cubed comes down. There's no other 4a cubes. That's a loner. 6a squared plus 6a squared, I got 12a squared. And then looks like 9a is a loner. Minus 3b is a loner. And finally, minus 2ab right here is also a loner. All right, next one, a plus 5 quantity squared. A plus 5 quantity squared means there's two of those. So we go a times a squared. A times 5, 5a. Inner, 5 times a. And last, 5 times 5. Combine like terms. And let me give myself a little bit of room for this next one. I got 2a minus 3b quantity squared. Two a minus 3b, but there's two of those. Quantity squared. So 2a times 2a, 4a squared. 2a times negative 3, negative 6ab. Negative 3b times 2a, negative 6ba or ab. Commutative law, multiplication. Negative 3 times negative 3 is a 9b times bb squared. Combine like terms. Alright, so here's our product of exponents, a product rule. So for example, x squared times x to the third is x to the fifth, right? 2 plus 3, there's 2 x's, there's 3 more x's, so there's 5 total x's. Power of a power, that'd be like x squared to the third. There's 3 sets. You multiply those, x to the 6th. The other way you can think about it is there's 3 sets of x squared. So there's got to be 6 x's total, right? This one's the power of a product rule. So like a times b squared is the same as ab times ab, which is a squared b squared, right? Power of a quotient. So a to the n over b to the n, and then a to the m over a to the n is a to the m minus n. For example, x to the third over x squared. Well, there's 3 x's on top and 2 on the bottom. So you're just left with x to the 1 on the top. In other words, x over x. See how you're just left with x to the 1? So you can subtract those powers. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Right? B to the 0 is 1, x to the 0, 1, anything to the 0 is 1. A times b to the 0, anything to the 0 is 1. The negative exponent, we'll deal with that a little bit more next time, but a to the negative n is 1 over a to the n. And so by definition, x to the negative 3 would be, take that down, x to the 3. And then 1 over a to the negative n goes up top, becomes a to the n. Again, we'll talk more about those next time. Let's apply some of these. This first one's the product rule. So this is a to the 3 plus 4, a to the 7. That's the product rule. The power of a power. So I have 20 a's total. This one we have, I'm going to use my associative property here. Everything's being multiplied, so I'm going to associate a to the third and a squared, and then b squared, b to the fourth. All right, so I'm going to do those and then those. A to the third, a squared, that's a to the 3 plus 2. 2 plus 4 for the b's, 6. So that's a to the 5, b to the 6th. 3c squared, 3c squared, d to the 5th to the 3rd. This is the power of a product rule, so I'm using this one. I have different things taken to the n power, so that one goes to the power, that one goes to the power. So this becomes 3 will go to the 3rd, c squared will go to the 3rd, d to the 5th will go to the 3rd as well. Well, 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. C squared to the 3rd is, multiply those, I have 3 sets of c squared, so I have 6 total c's. Multiply those, I have 15 d's. Similarly for this one, negative 2x squared y to the 6th squared. So negative 2 will be squared, x squared will be squared, y to the 6th will be squared. Well, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 2. X squared squared, multiply those. 4, 6, and 2, multiply those. Let me give myself a little bit of room here. Let me erase these. So this one will be, notice I have a negative 1. That'll go to the 3rd. X to the 3rd will go to the 3rd. Y to the 4th will go to the 3rd. Well, negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. X to the 3rd to the 3rd is x to the 9th. Y to the 4th to the 3rd is y to the 12th. So negative 1, x to the 9th, y to the 12th. Do this one here. I have negative 2x squared y to the 3rd times 4ax squared y. So negative 2 times 4, I got negative 8. And then I have, let me put all my x's. I have x squared from there times another, over here I have an x squared. I have a, notice the a's alone, and then I have a y to the 3rd y. So I have negative 8. I'm going to put this in alphabetical order. X squared times x squared. I add those x's. 2 plus 2 is 4. Y to the 3rd, y to the 1. Add those up. Y to the 4, 3 plus 1. This one here we're going to distribute. So I have 2ax times 3ax squared plus 5x cubed. So go ahead and distribute. 2 times 3 is 6. A times a squared. X times x squared. There's 3 x's. Now I'm going to go 2ax times 5x cubed. So 2 times 5, I got 10. X times x to the 3rd. There's 4 x's. And lastly, we'll go ahead and distribute this last one. So I have 5x squared times 3x. We'll give me negative 15. X times x squared is x to the 3rd y. Now I have negative 5x squared times negative 2xy. Well, negative 5 times negative 2 is a 10. X squared times x is x to the 3rd. Y times y is y squared. And lastly, I have negative 5x squared times positive 4. Negative 5 times 4 is negative 20. X squared, no other x's. Y times y, y squared. Combine like terms if you can. No like terms there. So we end just like that. And that's how you kind of use a little introduction to your properties of exponents. And hope that helps. See you next time.